most comfortable pillow you will ever own. Right now at MyPillow.com.
All right.
When you use
We are live.
Pillow, get one for
Going
free,
here
but you have to
on Facebook, YouTube, and the radio. Got a big show for you, a whole new week, a whole new topic. And so I'm looking forward to sharing all of that with you guys.
What you want to know, what you need to know. The Radio Network, 95.3.
Simone is watching today. Erica is watching today. Here and in my live studio audience. So big day, good progress today on our Fort Lauderdale rehab. Happy to hear about that. Great progress on our Houston rehab, and I'm happy about that. Thank you, John, who just joined us. And we got a lot of good stuff going on here. Let's see, which one of these do I like better? This one? Yeah, I think I like that one better. You guys tell me. We're getting ready. We're going on. Hello, John. Hi, Simone. And let's go here with the music on. Marianne, got it. Hey, Brian. The West Coast, Florida and California, both in the house. Thank you for that article, by the way, Marianne. And hello, South Florida. Welcome to another live edition of the Real Estate Show, kicking off the week here on our Mondays on a Mission. Welcome to our Real Estate Show now in our 21st year, 21 plus consecutive years of live broadcast 5 days a week here on the air. And we got a great week planned for you ahead of us. We've got a great show for you today as well. I want to make sure that all of our listeners know that we have a number of different ways that you're able to listen to us. And we're going to talk about that in just a second. But just to give you a little bit of a hint, today's show brought to you by timetofixmycredit.com. You're going to want to write that one down, timetofixmycredit.com, a world-class solution. We're going to be talking this week about credit. You know, last week we spent a good amount of time talking about the gig economy, the importance of multiple streams of income. And in fact, I was just saying off the air, but I'll say it on the air as well, Marianne, thank you for that article. Very interesting article about the state of California in an all-out war against the gig economy under the guise of, or actually under the influence of California unions. And basically what the state attorney has a lawsuit against both Uber and Lyft, trying to argue that the rideshare company, you know, America's largest transportation company that owns no cars, is that their drivers are employees and therefore should pay, you know, all the employment taxes, and Uber would have to pay employment and unemployment taxes, whereas they are independent contractors. Now, that's a very dangerous lawsuit there, and it's an interesting article if you want to research and read more into it. But the bottom line there, what they're completely insensitive to, and I'm even surprised that even in this economy, in this particular time in a pandemic, that moving forward with this, like I said, union promoted position, that they are going to, and I know a lot of people, in fact, every time I go to California, I find out more people that are doing the Uber gig thing. You know, they some of them have full-time jobs and drive Uber Extra, full-time students that use Uber to help pay for school. And, you know, Uber, which is a brilliant idea, and the economy has obviously embraced it. It has forced the level up for taxi drivers. You know, when you take a look at it, you know, do I want to drive in a nice, personally cleaned car or on plastic seats with a person who barely wants to have a conversation, let alone has any manners. And all of a sudden, you see that the market has said we want better service, better quality rides, and the flexibility is given both drivers and passengers a better experience, and that's why it's so popular. So anyway, be careful. The gig economy may seem like a great thing, and we certainly talk up great things about it. And we are, as you know, a big supporter of, moonlighting, gig economies, small micro businesses, which is why, in fact, before I get into our topic for today, I wanted to let you know that this week we got a whole bunch of extra goodies for you. Number one, today, following this show, our show goes from 8 until 8:30, Monday through Friday. If you're listening to us, that means you know where we are. But Monday through Friday on our Facebook Live page at facebook.com/The Real Estate Show, on our YouTube page. We also have it on our website at automaticlandlord.com. So if all else fails, just remember automaticlandlord.com will get you all the goodies that we provide for you. And we should have a page up, I believe, tomorrow, which will show you all of our workshops. And under the workshops, Monday, how to pay off all of your debt in half the time without having to make one extra dollar. Really cool workshop. It's going to be today, and that will start at 9 o'clock. If you don't have the information and want to attend it as my guest, all you have to do is go to automaticlandlord.com and just write Monday workshop with your email, and right after the show, I'll make sure that I get the last few instructions out. It's a free Zoom workshop for you to attend today. Tomorrow, our sponsor, timetofixmycredit.com, is putting on their workshop. It's a free Zoom meeting as well. If you want, then just say Tuesday workshop, and that will be starting tomorrow at 8 p.m. It'll actually get rolling while I'm still on the air, and then I'll roll out of here and into that workshop tomorrow evening. So that's Tuesday, the Tuesday workshop. Credit, and you'll probably, once you hear my conversation today, you'll understand a little bit more why Tuesday you ought to book, from 8 to 9. It's about a 45-minute workshop that will give you a lot of information about credit repair and credit improvement and so forth. Then on Thursday, right, so we're going to take the day off on Wednesday, and then on Thursday we are going to have a workshop for our small business owners. We're calling it our big workshop, which is our business insiders group. So if you want to go to the Thursday, you can either type in the Thursday workshop or type in the big workshop, BIG, business insiders group. And that is all about, getting off the ground as a small business owner and getting your marketing in place, getting your business plan in place, getting all of the things so that you make it a successful. We're going to call it the franchise without the franchise system without the franchise cost. And that's on Thursday evening, right after our show as well. So 3 days a week this week, we've got free workshops. All you have to do, again, is go to Automatic Landlord and then just send me a quick message. Monday workshop on how to pay off your debt in half the time. Tuesday workshop, credit repair. To call that the Tuesday workshop, and then the Thursday workshop, which is for business owners. Anyway, so let me ask you this. I don't know if you're mad. I know that I am. And every time I get into this conversation, it really kind of gets me going. And has credit ever slowed you down in business or in life? If the answer for you is like it is for me, and the answer is definitely capital yes, then you're going to want to kind of stay with us on this show today, because we're going to talk about that credit with knowledge, or I should say, let me turn around. Credit without knowledge is hard. You know that more than 50% of mortgage applications still get turned down. You've got to have really good credit scores. You definitely got to have verifiable income. And so between the income, the credit, and then that's not to mention the whole issue about a down payment. Now, at the end of today's program, I'm going to tell you about two things. I'm going to show you how to solve this problem once and for all. If you're one of those people who feel like they were locked out of a property, for you in particular, I've got a free, in fact, I want you to schedule a free call with me. And the way that you do that is either on our Facebook page or on our website at automaticlandlord.com. You can just go in there and you can schedule an appointment, a free complimentary 30-minute appointment, and I will show you and I will bet you dinner that if you have income that you can show me, regardless of whether it's 1 year, 2 years, I don't need 2 years tax returns, but if you can show me income and you can show me the ability that you have the ability to rent, I'll show you that you also have the ability to own, and I'll show that no questions, no doubt about it. So we're going to talk about that. You know, I want to tell you sort of a quick story, and this whole conversation about credit started way back when I was in college. And you know, in college, I studied both engineering and finance, which is a pretty interesting combination. But when I graduated with my degree in finance, I was in a very competitive job seeking environment, and I got one of the top type of jobs for a bank at that time. The #1 commercial bank here in South Florida was a bank called Southeast Bank. I don't know how many of you remember Southeast Bank, but it was a big competition. #1 was definitely Southeast Bank. #2 was a bank called Barnett Bank. And I know that if you recognize either one of those names, that you've probably dated yourself maybe just a little bit. But I got a position there with Southeast Bank as a credit analyst right out of college. And my job was, I was the assistant to a loan officer, obviously someone who had a lot more experience than I did. And the loan officer, obviously, he would get applications from commercial businesses and seeking a loan. My job, I was the grunt, the new kid, the serf in this whole banking environment. And my job was to crunch the numbers and show, or in fact, my job, I'll put it to you straightforward, was to show why they couldn't afford it. My job was to find the reason why they couldn't repay it. And because as a borrower, you had to, as a commercial borrower, even back then, you had to show, #1, what was your primary source of repayment? Usually it's the business that they're getting a loan for. Then they have a secondary source of repayment, and maybe it's their accounts receivable, maybe it's something like assets in the business. And then we always had to do a primary, a secondary, and a tertiary source of repayment. And maybe sometimes we couldn't find a tertiary source of repayment, and that made it very difficult for people to get the loan. But they wanted 1, 2, 3 sources, because the banks don't want to lose in this game. They want to lend the money, they want to make the interest, and they don't want, obviously they also have to protect their shareholders. So I get it, I understand it, except for the fact that here I was fresh out of college, and if you guys know a little bit more about my story, when I was still in college was when I attended my first real estate seminar. So the bug was already planted in here. I already had very much of an entrepreneurial spirit here in my heart. And I was very much on a path that at some point along the line, I was going to be able to buy real estate and go down that path. So nothing excited me more, by the way, when we had a borrower who was involved in some sort of a real estate. And I'll tell you the rest of that story after we come back from the break. But I will tell you that it was a very frustrating job for me for this reason. My job was to find the problems, was to poke the holes, and to figure out why the bank should not make the loan. And if I did my job really well, they wouldn't get the loan. And unless, of course, they were that strong that they had the primary, secondary, and tertiary or third source of repayment. But I kept seeing this stuffed shirt and this bank employee, who I was his subordinate, constantly telling these what I thought were brilliant entrepreneurs, people with really cool ideas. I'm going to tell you one of the businesses right when we come back from the break. But it was a great business, and there were many great businesses. And we turned down loans that I thought that if I had the money, I would lend the business. In fact, I would go in partners with these guys. But that's not how banks work. You guys know that. And that's why we're having this conversation about credit, because credit is not just about the credit score, which we're going to talk a whole bunch about during the week, but it's also about your credibility in the credit world, which means it means also income, it means experience, data, and credit history, etc. So we're going to go ahead and take a quick break. Here are a few words from our sponsors. We got a whole much more information for you on this topic, which we'll see will take us right through the week. So don't touch that dial. You're listening to The Real Estate Show. We got the goods. We'll be right back right after these words from our sponsors.
Listen to any real estate investing guru, and they'll tell you to get a team of virtual
So first of all, I just want to say hello to everybody that's out there. Hey, Felipe. So have you decided, are you going to be joining us in Texas? So in fact, I'll make a quick mention of that when we get back on the air. Today is Monday. Today, next week, I will be in Texas. And my first post-pandemic trip, so that should be pretty fun. I don't know if do you think they'll be upset if I wear my hazmat suit onto the airplane? But you can bet I'll be wearing my mask as I go fly to Houston. So I'm not worried about being in Houston. I'm not worried about being outside. Probably the most time that I'm worried about is being in the closed space of the airplane, although everyone's telling me that they've doubled up on the filtering system and everyone is now required to wear masks. So that's a good thing. And hopefully I'll be in a position that I won't be on top of somebody or somebody won't be on top of me. But a week from today, it'll be the eve before the auction on Tuesday, the first Tuesday of every month. Can you guys all believe, by the way, that today is the last, today is the last Monday of the third quarter. And on Thursday, and I know Erica's super excited about this, and Thursday will be the end of the third quarter. She's holding her head. And because quarter end closing, she's an accountant. So she gets to work overtime, double time, long time, especially at the end of the quarter. She got month end closing, quarter end closing. But the real thing that I find to be very, very, very amazing is that we're 3/4 done in the year. Our governor says COVID has left. Yeah, that's right, Marianne. And you definitely would think that if you were in the rush hour traffic that I was coming back home. And welcome back. For those of you just joining us, you are listening to The Real Estate Show, South Florida's #1 program about real estate, America's longest running daily radio show about real estate. And as I was saying before, we got the goods. We got a great show. We also got a full moon. So we got a end of month, end of quarter, full moon. But it's all good. It's all good, and then we're gonna make the best of it. So I was telling the story before the. In fact, a couple of quick announcements, just in case we got a couple of new listeners that just joined us since the break. This week we've got 3. That's right, 3 in 1 week workshops, and they're all free. They're all open to all of you, to the public. And the first one is tonight, Monday night. We've got our debt shredder, the automatic landlord debt shredder. This is a revolutionary way to pay off not just your mortgage, but all of your debt in half the time. And if you would like to be my guest, the founder of the software is actually going to be giving a demonstration, and that will immediately follow our radio show. Well, not immediately, it will be at 9 o'clock. So I'll have about half an hour for those of you. If you haven't registered and you would like to attend, go to automaticlandlord.com. That's automaticlandlord.com. I will go there after the show, and I'm going to check. If anyone else wants to register, I'll send you the Zoom link so that you can come into this free workshop on how to pay off your debt in half the time. So if you want to do that, just go to automaticlandlord.com, go to in the comments there, right there where it says send a message, just type in Monday workshop, please. And I will send that to you. Tuesday, we've got our credit repair workshop. And this is a great workshop that will be on Tuesday night. So go to automaticlandlord.com, type in Tuesday workshop access. And that is put on by United Credit Education Services in conjunction with our sponsor, timetofixmycredit.com. All you have to do, again, is go to automaticlandlord.com, type in Tuesday or credit workshop. Tuesday workshop, credit workshop. I'll know exactly what you're talking about. Put in your email, and I will send you the credit link to go to there to the free workshop on Zoom. Zoom, the new place to go. It's so much better than having to drive to seminars and workshops, isn't it? I love it. My commute is always the easiest now because I just move from one screen to the other. And then on Thursday, we have our big workshop. That's BIG for the Business Insiders Group. And this is a workshop for small business owners, whether you would like to have a business or whether you already are in a small business. And these are really good tips, techniques, strategies. We're going to help you all the way through the whole process to make your business more successful. And I believe that's going to be an ongoing thing. You guys might have remembered a couple years ago, before the Great Recession, we used to have these every week, all the time, talking about real business and marketing. And while it's sort of in the frame of real estate, because real estate is a business after all. And so, we're going to show you a lot of our secrets, why we are America's longest running daily radio show, why we were not only survived the Great Recession, but thrived through the Great Recession, and now even through the pandemic. There's no signs, there's no cracks in the armor. We're going to be around here for another 20 years, and we want to show you how to do the same and how to build your real estate business into a real estate portfolio. And if you guys are at all familiar with the Robert Kiyosaki book, the cash flow quadrants, we're going to show you how to get out of the employee quadrant where you have a job, pass through the self-employed, which is you still have a job, you just own your own job, but get into the business where you create systems of income and processes that you can step and walk away from, and it still generates that income for you. So those are our 3 workshops this week. But coming back, and I told you the story of when I graduated college, went to go work for a bank, felt super, super frustrated. And I started to understand this concept of credit, and it really was I could tell, and I still can tell, not only in the businesses that I saw back then, but in the people that I deal with today, the stress of credit, the uncertainty of credit, the difficulty of establishing and understanding credit. Like, how do they come up with this credit score? We're going to talk about this the entire week. I'm going to break it down. I'm not only going to break it down what the credit is and how it works, but I'm also going to break down what to do. I'm going to give you tomorrow our tools, tips, and techniques you can expect. We're going to start talking about, I'm going to give you 10 different ways to boost your credit. I'm going to first break it down. I'm going to show you where the soft spots of the credit is. I'm going to tell you how to get a free copy of your credit report. I'm going to tell you how to recognize what to do, what to look at on that credit report, so that you can take that credit report as a launch pad into creating better credit. And like I said, by the end of this week, for any of you out there that's ever been turned down for credit, I'm going to show you how to turn that around. And if there's anybody out there that wants to own a home and doesn't own a home right now, and they thought it was because of credit, I'm going to take that away. Today, John and I, when we worked down at the Fort Lauderdale rehab, we were talking about that, and we were making a joke because I showed him some old plaques that we had pre the recession where they were giving out 100% interest-only loans to investors. Now, that doesn't exist anymore today, but I'm going to show you that even for homeowners with a relatively low down payment, the same that you would pay if you were renting a place. If you can rent a place, you can own a place. And if you are a bona fide qualified renter, I will show you how you are a bona fide, qualified home owner. And that's why you want to make sure that you stay with us throughout the whole week. And if you can't wait till the end of the week and you say, listen, I'm ready to buy, then go to Automatic Landlord. That's Automatic Landlord. And again, in the comments, say, I'm ready to buy. And we can have an offline conversation on how to do that. But, credit is a lot about judging your past events and the past actions. Now, the credit score doesn't care what it was, right? It just, you do a bad thing. That doesn't matter what it is. If you paid late, doesn't matter whether it's on, a mortgage, doesn't matter why, if it was a divorce, if it was a death in the family, it's going to affect your credit. I'm going to show you how to turn that around as well. So anyway, as I mentioned before, I was working for these stuffed white shirts in the bank who were out to basically turn down. They were always looking for reasons to turn down a loan. And I, as an entrepreneur in my heart, was always looking at these businesses. I'll tell you what, there's one guy, what he was doing is he was buying up these large parcels of land. And every time he found a large parcel of land, he would subdivide it into trailer park lots. And then he would sell off these lots on financing. And the only limit, now he would borrow the money, and back in those days, we were lending money at about 8%, okay? Believe it or not, and that was a great rate, 8%. And you think, well, how do you make money with 8%? Well, back then, he could resell those lots and finance them at 18%. And people would happily pay because it's small loans. 18% doesn't make a huge difference in the finance payment on a small lot purchase. And as much money as he could borrow, he could basically make a 10% spread on the money. Not to mention that he would buy the land for cheaper. And then when he broke it up, he could sell it for a higher cost. I thought it was a brilliant business. I thought that we should give him lots of money. Do you know what? They turned him down. They turned him down. And that was the day that I decided that I was no longer going to work for the bank and I was going to switch and go to the other side of the table. So anyway, now you know what we're going to talk about this week. The agenda's set. You know what the topic is set. We got a lot of great stuff for you. And remember, automaticlandlord.com. If you want to attend any one of the workshops, just let me know. But that's it for today. The music is coming in. That means I'm on my way out. So until tomorrow, same place, right here, same time. Drive safe, wash those hands, and make it a great day. Thank you. God bless America. And that is a wrap.
Thanks, Eric. Have a good one.
Thank you, Ken. You too. Does the time just fly by or is it me? Unbelievable. I swear, I feel like that was like a 5-minute show. Oh, good. That's all done. So I hope you guys enjoyed the show today, and the conversation begins. I got a whole bunch. I mean, I got a lot of stuff there. When I made that decision, I made the decision for two things. I got to tell you the story about how I quit the bank. It was actually a really fun story, but I'll have to save that for tomorrow's show. And then we will talk tomorrow about. I got 5 key points on what you should do about your credit. And then I've got 10 different tips that I want to give out on how to boost your credit. So with that being said, I am going to shut down our YouTube page. Thank you very much for our YouTube viewers and for the comments. And I will shut that down. 1, 2, 3.